Welcome to another session of character modeling. Sorry, I'm not the voice of Lee, that was Dave Fanoy, but I am the voice of the guy who modeled Lee and Clementine for Telltale's The Walking Dead. My name is Steve Moore, and I also go by S'more. Now, today I'm going to share with you the original high-res model used to create the Lee character we see in Season 1 and chat about some of the thinking that went into his creation. So here we have this is the high-res Lee model. It's a decimated version in Marmoset, but it's basically the high-res sculpt that was used to kind of bake out the lighting data and the normal maps and stuff, which I talked about in a previous episode, how the whole process of texturing and stuff. So we did have high-res models for season one, for the Telltale Walking Dead season. And he was one of the first I made. So he's definitely stylized. He's intended to be stylized. Um, you can see, like, if you we'll compare the model and the final textures, you can see the folds, you know, um, that were in the final kind of painterly textures reflected here in the sculpt. He's posed because this particular version was actually made for a 3D print. How that came about is one of my colleagues he was into the 3D painting, 3D printing, and making costumes for cosplay, and he just got this printer and he wanted to try printing out Lee. So we got together and chose a pose. Actually, Harrison Pink was the person who proposed this little project. Brian Eby, who was the rigger, he helped me rig the kind of the base version of the high res model, and we posed him out. We used one of the animations to pose him, so this is kind of literally a pose from the game. The original skeleton was created by Nora Falcon. She did rig both Lee and Clementine for season one. Um, and this is Jeff, right? This is Zombie Jeff. The only kind of only record I have of Jeff, the hole that's for the print. Um, there's Zombie Jeff, at least his head, and uh, and of course Lee carrying his iconic axe here. There you go. So yeah. So the model is decimated for printing, but this is basically the detail of his face as it was originally sculpted. Um, and I think he's the camera lens is distorting him a bit here, so he's more like in the game he's a little bit more kind of orthographic like this, not so distorted. Maybe more like 17. That's more like Lee, right? So he's a little bit more squared off. I'm just changing the field of view on the camera, and that is one of those funny things that maybe people are not aware of, but when you're modeling for games, particularly characters, you need to think about the field of view of the camera. You need to model for the game camera. And that was literally a big deal. I spent a lot of time trying to match the game camera in ZBrush, so I modeled to that. Um, but I'll show you in a bit. I'll show you the final print too, so you can see what he actually comes out like when take real life and take the cameras out of the mix. What does he look like? Which is pretty much like this. The idea for our two protagonists, Lee and Clementine, originally came from Sean Vanman and Jake Rodkins, who were the writers and directors on the Telltale project. Derek Sakai, he drew the original concept for Lee. He was the art director on the project. And it was my task to take their ideas and bring them into the three-dimensional world. To do this, I started by gathering reference material that resembled Derek's concept and had the qualities I think we were looking for in Lee. He should be handsome, heroic, strong, gentle, and of course warm and kind. For Lee's face, I looked at actors. I looked at people like Idris Elba, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and of course Dave Fanoy, whose warm and friendly voice is definitely reflected in his face.
Well, that's all I have for today, so I think I'll hold off on showing the print for another video. I recently acquired a resin printer, and I think it would be really cool to do a nice high-res print and share that with you guys. Right now I've got like something kind of rough that I got from Shapeways. So yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and extra good mojo for anybody who leaves a comment. I 100%, I promise you, extra good mojo. And a special thanks to Cataclysm, who I borrowed in-game screen capture from. She has a really great playthrough channel, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. She had the best kind of high definition, latest version of the game screen capture. So thank you, Cataclysm. Hope you don't mind. I'll just leave you with some turnarounds from ZBrush, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy modeling.